My friends, I need you to stop whatever you're doing right now and watch this video all the way to the end, because what I'm about to share with you today could literally put thousands of dollars back in your pocket this April. I'm talking about real money, government money, money that you may have already earned and may be entitled to collect. And nobody has sat down with you to explain exactly how to get it. That ends today. If you are receiving Social Security, SSI, SSDI, or VA benefits, or if you are a senior aged 60 or older who has paid into the system for decades, there are payment updates, bonus amounts, and benefit adjustments going out this April 2026 that could add up to $5,000 or more when you combine everything correctly. And I want to walk you through every single piece of this so you don't miss a dime. Now, I know some of you are skeptical, you've seen headlines before, you've gotten excited before, and then nothing showed up in your account. That's exactly why I'm here, to cut through the noise and give you the real numbers, the real dates, and the real steps to take. So grab your coffee, get comfortable, and let's talk about this together. Let's start with the big picture, because context matters. Back in October 2025, the Social Security Administration announced the cost of living adjustment, the COLA, for 2026. That increase came in at 2.5%. Now, I know some of you were hoping for more, especially after the back-to-back increases we saw in 2022 and 2023. But here's what people are missing. When you stack that 2.5% COLA on top of the adjustments that were already made to maximum benefit amounts, the earnings limits, and the thresholds for substantial gainful activity, it creates a compounding effect that is quietly increasing what some people collect by hundreds of dollars every single month. For the average Social Security retirement beneficiary in 2026, the typical monthly check is now hovering right around $1,276 per month. But that's the average. Plenty of people, and especially those who delayed claiming, worked 35 or more years in higher wage jobs, or are receiving spousal or survivor benefits on top of their own record, are seeing monthly amounts well above $2,500, $3,000, even $3,800 per month. And when you add in delayed retirement credits, auxiliary benefits, and any VA compensation that runs alongside Social Security, those numbers climb fast. That's where the $5,000 figure starts to make real sense. Now, let me talk about the April 2026 payment schedule, because this is where a lot of confusion happens. Social Security payments are not mailed out on the first of the month for everyone. They are staggered by birthday, and understanding this schedule is critical so you don't panic when your money hasn't arrived yet. If your birthday falls between the 1st and the 10th of any month, your payment arrives on the second Wednesday of April, which in 2026 falls on April 8th. If your birthday falls between the 11th and the 20th, you receive your payment on the third Wednesday, which is April 15th. And if your birthday falls between the 21st and the 31st, your check lands on the fourth Wednesday, April 22nd. Now, there is one important exception. If you have been receiving Social Security benefits since before May 1997, you still get paid on the third of every month, just like clockwork. And SSI recipients receive their regular payment on the first of the month. So for April 2026, SSI payments went out on April 1st. If you are on both SSI and Social Security, what's called concurrent benefits, you receive two separate deposits, two different amounts, two different dates, arriving in the same bank account. Some people don't realize they're getting two payments and assume there's been a mistake. There's no mistake. That's the system working exactly as it should. Let's talk about who might be seeing larger than expected payments this April and why. There is a group of beneficiaries who are receiving what I like to call catch-up amounts. And this happens for a few different reasons. The first reason is retroactive back pay. If you recently filed for SSDI and your claim was approved after a waiting period, the SSA owes you benefits going back to the date you were found disabled. Depending on how long your case took to process, that back pay can run into thousands of dollars delivered in a single lump sum. People who had appeals approved in late 2025 or early 2026 are seeing those back pay amounts deposited right now in April. Some of those amounts are $4,000, $5,000, even higher depending on the length of the disability and the monthly benefit rate. The second reason is Medicare premium adjustments. Here's something that doesn't get enough attention. If your Medicare Part B premiums went up significantly over the past couple of years and then decreased, or if you were protected by the hold harmless provision, which prevents your Social Security check from going down when Medicare premiums rise, you may actually see a slight net increase in your take-home amount that feels like found money. It's not extra money from the government, technically, but it shows up as a higher deposit. And for someone on a fixed income, that matters. The third reason, and this one is really important, is the windfall elimination provision and government pension offset repeal. My friends, in early 2025, Congress passed and the president signed into law the Social Security Fairness Act, which eliminated both the WEP and the GPO. These were two rules that had reduced Social Security benefits for millions of public sector workers, teachers, firefighters, police officers, postal workers, who also received a government pension. With those rules gone, retroactive payments and monthly benefit increases have been flowing out to affected retirees throughout 2025 and into 2026. If you or your spouse worked in a public sector job and had your Social Security reduced because of a pension, you need to contact the SSA right now if you haven't already. Some people are owed thousands of dollars in retroactive payments that are still being processed. Now let me walk you through a real-world example so you can see how this all adds up. Let's say her name is Dorothy. Dorothy is 68 years old, a retired teacher from Ohio. She spent 30 years in the classroom and has a modest state pension of about $1,400 a month. Before the Social Security Fairness Act passed, her Social Security benefit was being reduced by the GPO, which cut her spousal benefit almost entirely and reduced her own earned benefit as well. Her monthly Social Security check was only $620 a month. After the GPO was eliminated, her own Social Security benefit was restored. She now receives $1,190 per month in Social Security retirement benefits. On top of that, she's getting back pay for months where she was underpaid going back to January 2024. That's over 15 months of additional money. At roughly $570 per month in corrections, that's over $8,500 in retroactive payments. Dorothy's life has changed, and she almost missed it entirely because nobody told her she needed to call. That's why I'm here. That's why these videos matter. Let me also talk about VA benefits, because I know a good number of you watching are veterans or surviving spouses of veterans. The Department of Veterans Affairs also applies an annual COLA adjustment that mirrors what Social Security receives. So for 2026, VA disability compensation rates increased by the same 2.5%. For a veteran rated at 100% disability with no dependents, the monthly compensation is now over $3,757 per month. For veterans rated at 70%, one of the most common ratings, the monthly check is around $1,116. Here's the thing about VA compensation that most people don't realize. It is tax-free federal income. It does not count toward your taxable income, and it does not reduce your Social Security benefit calculation. So if you're a veteran receiving both VA disability compensation and Social Security retirement, or SSDI, those two income streams can run side by side with no offset. When you add them together, say $1,700 in VA compensation plus $2,100 in Social Security, you're looking at $3,800 a month tax-free from federal sources alone. That's before any pension, spousal benefit, or SSI you might also have coming in. Now, I do want to give you the honest truth about something that doesn't get talked about enough in these videos, and that's benefit offsets and potential clawbacks. Because if you're going to trust me as a source of information, I need to give you the full picture. If you're receiving SSDI and you go back to work and earn more than the substantial gainful activity limit, which in 2026 is $1,620 per month for non-blind individuals, you could lose your disability benefits after your trial work period ends. The SSA does review work activity, and if they find overpayments, they will pursue collection. This is not a scare tactic. It's something every SSDI recipient needs to understand before taking on extra income. Similarly, if you're under full retirement age and you're collecting Social Security retirement benefits while still working, the earnings limit for 2026 is $22,320 per year. If you earn above that, the SSA temporarily withholds $1 in benefits for every $2 you earn over the limit. You do get those withheld amounts back eventually in the form of a higher benefit once you reach full retirement age, but the timing matters and you need to plan around it. And for SSI recipients, income and asset limits remain strict. If your countable resources go above $2,000 for an individual or $3,000 for a couple, your SSI can be suspended. Bank accounts, certain property, and financial gifts can all affect this. If a well-meaning family member sends you money and it pushes you over the limit, you could face an overpayment notice. Always report changes to the SSA promptly. So what are the smart strategies right now? What should you actually do after watching this video? First, if you've never checked your Social Security statement online, go to ssa.gov and create or log into your My Social Security account today. Review your earnings record carefully. Errors in your work history directly reduce your benefit amount, and you have the right to correct them. Second, if you are between 62 and 70 and haven't claimed yet, run the numbers on delayed claiming. For every year you wait past your full retirement age, up to age 70, your benefit grows by 8%. On a $2,000 monthly benefit, that's $160 more per month for life. Every year you wait. Over 20 years of retirement, that adds up to tens of thousands of dollars. Third, if you are a public sector worker or retiree who may have been affected by the WEP or GPO, call the Social Security Administration at 1-800-772-1213 and specifically ask about the Social Security Fairness Act and what it means for your benefit record. Don't assume they've already updated your file. Advocate for yourself. Fourth, if you're a veteran and not receiving VA disability compensation, consider getting a free benefits evaluation through a veteran service organization like the DAV, the VFW, or the American Legion. Millions of veterans are eligible for compensation they've never claimed. And fifth, please make sure your direct deposit information at the SSA is current. Delayed payments are often caused by outdated banking information. Log into your My Social Security account or call them directly to verify everything is correct before the payment dates I mentioned earlier. My friends, I want to close by saying this. You have worked your whole life. You paid into this system. You served your families, your communities, your country, and you deserve every dollar that belongs to you. Not someday, now. The April 2026 payment schedule is active. The COLA increase is already applied. The retroactive payments from the Social Security Fairness Act are still being processed, and the VA compensation rates have been updated. When you add all of this up correctly, the retirement benefits, the spousal adjustments, the back pay, the VA compensation, the restored benefits from the WEP and GPO repeal, for many people watching right now, we are absolutely talking about payments that reach or exceed $5,000 this April. Check your account, make that phone call, log into ssa.gov. Talk to a benefits counselor if you need to. Do not leave your money on the table. I'll be back with more updates as the SSA releases new information. Until then, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and remember, you've earned this, every single penny.